We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Love those guys, celebrating 55 years doing what they do. We got a lot to get to today, a little bit of time. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us on Super Talk TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. I think that's it. I don't know. Sometimes I get on a roll and I forget what I said. You ever do that?
All the time.
It's on everything that matters.
Everything that matters.
Hit like, hit subscribe, free to do. Share the show with your friends if you're on a digital platform. Help us grow that digital footprint of the radio station. We appreciate you guys. We're gonna do the commercial breaks again today. I found more videos of protesters getting owned yesterday.
I'm prepared this time.
So during the commercial breaks on the YouTube and Rumble and Facebook, Twitter, Twitch streams, exclusively, you'll be able to see videos of protesters getting owned by ICE. And I even have a video of protesters getting owned by an opposition protester.
Ooh.
Did you see that one?
Oh, I haven't.
Let's do that one first after this break when we get into commercials on the YouTube stream. I'm not here to advocate for violence, but I do watch it on my computer screen and enjoy it from time to time. And there was a MAGA guy that just had enough of the protesters in Minneapolis blaring him in the ear with the siren from the megaphone. And so he started serving out knuckle sandwiches.
Oh, nice.
Dude, he just cleaned the clocks of like 4 dudes. It's like, whoa. So we'll do that. We'll do that one first because it's fun. Hey, did you hear that lawsuits are being filed?
Just a few.
We got Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison announcing a lawsuit against the Trump administration over ICE raids. They're labeling it an invasion because thousands of ICE agents are coming into their city. I wonder why they didn't have that same energy when an actual invasion was happening in the country, when millions upon millions of illegal aliens were allowed into this country. I wonder why they don't have that same energy and same anger towards the Biden administration, because if that never happened, they wouldn't be seeing what they're seeing today. It's weird. Don't you find that a bit odd? Yeah, no, orange man bad. So we have Illinois and Chicago suing the DHS. They want to ban them from arresting illegal aliens. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison has also announced a lawsuit against the Trump admin over the ICE raids. This was that announcement yesterday, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's like these people are just insane. They released a list, and we talked about the list yesterday. And it was the list of the illegal aliens that have been arrested in just Minnesota, don't you know? And it was killers and rapists and child rapists and gang members. And apparently the leadership in Minnesota, they called these individuals neighbors. That's what they're doing. Everybody's saying it. I don't know. It must just be me. But it's like every time I turn around and I see a leftist talking, they're like, gee whiz, that's our neighbor. There was a Minnesota state councilwoman who said, we're organizing grocery runs for our neighbors. You mean the illegal aliens living in your community? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Here's Keith Ellison talking about the lawsuit that has been filed.
My name is Keith Ellison. I'm the Attorney General for the state of Minnesota, and I'm so honored to be joined and in partnership with the city of Minneapolis under the leadership of my friend Jacob Fry.
Leadership, air quotes, leadership.
And the city of St. Paul under the leadership of Mayor Herr, who is also a dear friend of many years. We've come together, and we're here to announce a lawsuit we're filing against the United States Department of Homeland Security to end the unlawful, unprecedented surge of the federal law enforcement agents into Minnesota. Because this has to stop. It just has to stop.
You know, it never would have started if you weren't a sanctuary city, a sanctuary state, ignoring federal laws. It never would have had to happen if you just allowed ICE agents into your prisons to get the worst offenders with ICE detainers off the streets. But you guys didn't want to do that. So when the Democrats didn't want to go that route, you forced the hand of the feds to go this route. All of this is the doing of the Democrats. From the border invasion under the Biden administration to the lack of cooperation in the prisons and the jails, that directly leads to what we're seeing today. Gee whiz, Orange Man bad. Let's file a lawsuit.
We allege that the obvious targeting of Minnesota for our diversity, for our democracy, and our differences of opinion with the federal government is a violation of the Constitution and of federal law.
It's just so infuriating. Nobody has an issue with your diversity. It's your strength, right? Nobody has an issue with your democracy. It's all good, right? You didn't import a bunch of voters. No. Of course not. Of course not. Why would you do that? But what's unlawful about what the feds are doing?
We allege that the surge's reckless impact on our schools, on our local law enforcement, is a violation of the 10th Amendment and the sovereign laws and powers of the Constitution grants to states.
I love how he says the impact on schools when it was the Minnesota officials who said it's too unsafe. We have to give the option for virtual learning to everybody that's afraid. There's been no operations inside any schools, right? Like that is a BS talking point by the Democrat Party. The only time I've seen an issue with the schools is when leftist teachers are actively encouraging walkouts by their high school students for political reasons. That's it. Again, it goes back to the Democrats.
We allege that DHS's use of excessive and lethal force, their warrantless, racist arrests,
oh my gosh,
their targeting of our courts, our churches.
He can't even lie without getting choked up. These are racist arrests. The use of lethal force. Oh yeah, when members of ICE Watch drive vehicles at ICE agents. Got it.
Houses of worship and schools are a violation of the Administrative Procedures Act on arbitrary and capricious federal actions. And we ask that the courts will end the surge of thousands of DHS agents into Minnesota.
How about no? How about we go even harder? How about Keith Ellison kick rocks? The entire administration under Tim Walz is an absolute joke, and now they're suing. They can't handle business on their own. The feds had to come in and handle business for them, and now they're upset. Butthurt, if you will. I believe that's the technical term. Will you fact check? I think that's the technical term. They're a bit butthurt.
Yeah, fact check true.
Okay. He smeared ICE agents and said there's no good reason for them to be in Minnesota. And I just found myself going, did you see the report when they got the child rapists and the murderers and the rapists off the street? The neighbors.
So let's be clear. It never should have started. These agents have no good reason to be here. Minnesota's non-citizen immigrant population is just 1.5%. which is half the national average. Our state's percentage is lower than Utah, Texas, and Florida's, but none of those states have thousands of federal agents swarming their streets.
Could it be, and maybe I'm the conspiracy theorist for thinking this, could it be that they don't need to swarm those states because Texas and Florida are working with the federal government to root out the illegal aliens, and they need to swarm the state because you guys aren't? They have no good reason to be there. Please stop talking about the fraud. I truly believe they're grateful that Renee Nicole Good was shot because it got eyes off the fraud. I believe that this lawsuit is another move to get eyes off the fraud, and it's not going to work. Billions of dollars of fraud in Minnesota. We're going to continue looking at it. Oh, what about Texas? What about Florida? Yep, they're actually working with the federal government. So what's the issue? I mean, like, what I'm having a hard time following you, sir. This is Attorney General Keith Ellison as he's announcing his lawsuit.
Or harming their people. The administration says that they're focused on finding criminals. Worst of the worst, they say.
Like the rapists and the child rapists and the murderers that they've gotten off the streets of Minneapolis since this operation began. Fact check true.
But many of the people the DHS is arresting in Minnesota have no criminal history.
See, this is where we're splitting hairs. See, the Democrats don't believe that crossing the border is a crime. We do. If you come in illegally, that's a crime. Needs to be rectified. They don't see that as a crime.
That fits a pattern. In 2025, 93% of the people arrested by ICE had no violent criminal history, 65% had no criminal convictions at all, and randomly stopping people in the street because their skin color isn't the one that they expect or want isn't doing a thing to help public safety.
No, and neither is rhetoric like this from the Attorney General, the top cop in Minnesota. Do you think this is going to make ICE agents more safe or less safe when you get up behind a podium and you call them racist, evil Nazis? Such a joke. Mayor Jacob Frey was there as well. Jacob Fry, depends on who you ask. Tomato. But he says that what we're seeing right now is not normal enforcement. This was what he added to the conversation.
What we are seeing right now is not normal immigration enforcement. We are not asking ICE not to do ICE things. We are asking this federal government to stop the unconstitutional conduct that is invading our streets each and every day.
What exactly is unconstitutional about trying to remove illegal aliens from the city of Minneapolis? What is unconstitutional about surging resources there when the local government won't work with you? I'm missing it. Maybe we have a constitutional lawyer out there that can help me. What is unconstitutional about this? What am I missing? What am I missing? Now, I've seen the conversations online. Oh, you guys are bootlickers now. Oh, you're licking boots. It's like, no, I actually voted for this. I am here for the deportations. I want the numbers to go up. I don't care how you came into the country. If I don't care what you've done since you came into the country illegally. If you haven't committed a crime, but you committed a crime by entering illegally, then you have to go. That's the most fair way to treat this. All of the illegal aliens need to be deported. That might be unpopular there up in Minnesota, but that's the reality of the situation. I don't care if it's your abuela making tamales or a Tren de Aragua member. If they came into the country illegally, they have to leave. I would take the stipend from the federal government if I were you, and I would try to come back in legally. About 1.5 million have taken that option. But the rhetoric continues. Mayor Jacob Frey, anti-ICE, and he says that this operation is costing residents of Minneapolis millions of dollars, which I find rich because the fraud has cost Minneapolis taxpayers billions of dollars.
We are doing everything possible to keep our cities safe through this unprecedented time, and at the same time, we have police officers that are tired. We've seen damage substantially because we're now having to pay a ton of overtime.
Oh, no.
Millions of dollars of emergency overtime for law enforcement. Emergency operations have been activated across our city and state agencies, pulling focus on daily core services that we, by the way, are tasked with providing. Local police officers are being diverted from the very work that we need to be doing, and small businesses are losing significant revenue, with some worried that they may not survive this at all. We are doing...
I mean, now you're worried about small businesses after the summer of love? Now you're worried. All of this rhetoric is going to lead to more violence. There's no getting around it. And I pray for the safety of the residents of Minneapolis as well as the ICE agents. I don't want this to continue. I wish that the state of Minnesota would be working with ICE in conjunction getting these illegal aliens out, but they're not. And we're not going to pack up and go home because they don't want to work with us. Do you understand? Do you get how that works? More agents are being surged to the area, thousands more. And I'm here for it. Get them all out. Uncover all the fraud. And don't let these lawsuits be a distraction to the work that needs to be done. We got a lot more on the way. What did Ilhan Omar have to say about this? I'll give you a teaser. She said, occupying force. Oh, interesting. We'll talk about this on the way. Plus, if you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble, as we jump into the commercial breaks, we'll be playing some footage of protesters getting owned. Because why not? It's 9:21. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock store. I've been talking about these guys for years. I love them. I train there. They got everything Glock. I mean, it's in the name. Have you heard about the new Glocks that they got, though? The Gen 6? These are the ones with the new optic system, the RTF6 texturing, the enlarged beaver tail, the flat-face trigger. I could go on and on and on. These guys have these Glocks have everything. The Gen 6 Glocks are the most refined stock Glocks ever produced, and as you might expect, Glock store already got some. They got their first shipment of Gen 6, G17s, 19s, 45s, and they were literally gone before they got there. And you might be wondering why. I'll tell you. It's because Glock store is letting you pre-order these bad boys so you can be one of the first ones to get your hands on them. And as a thank you for your pre-order, if you mention my name, Chris Hand, you'll get an extra magazine when you pick up your new Gen 6 Glock. So here's what you do. You get to the Glock store, you check out the Gen 6 Glocks in the rental department. If you like what you see, feel, and shoot, place your pre-order. Tell them you heard about it on the Chris Hand Show. Boom, when you pick it up, extra magazine waiting for you. This is a limited time offer only from the Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. Oh, all right, we're back on the stream. Let's go. So it was like a minute and a half ago. I said we're going to go live on the stream, and then I totally forgot that we were going to go live on the stream. And then I heard Mason. So just behind the scenes, Mason, we wait because there's a couple things you have to do behind the scenes to make sure we're not going out over the air. So Mason turns my mic on from his side. So I forgot until I heard the click of the mic turning on because I'm a professional. Protesters getting owned. All right, you ready for this? This might be the best video that you'll see all day. Hold on. I got protesters getting owned. I make all these folders on Twitter. This is from the folder Protesters Getting Owned 2 because I had a folder of this yesterday. I think you're going to like this one. It's a guy minding his own business, and the leftists won't leave him alone at this protest. Here we go. Megaphone in his ear. They're playing that siren. He's trying to walk away. Calling him a piece of shit. Nobody likes you. Boom! Ooh, ooh. Oof. Ooh. Oh, the man in the red returns. Wait for this. This is the money shot right here, baby. You ready for this? Bang! Whoa. Now, I'm not here to advocate for violence. In fact, I strongly oppose violence. But I do watch it from time to time on the internet. And that video was one of the big ones that caught my eye last night. We're going to rejoin the radio broadcast. We appreciate you guys joining us for the exclusive content on the stream. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends, and we'll be back here in about a minute on Super Talk.
Up ahead, we have sad news to report this morning. Scott Adams has passed away, and he left a final message. We've got that for you coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Wow. That is definitely some news. Rest in peace to Scott Adams. I do know before he passed, he was debating converting to Christianity.
So I have that final part. It was part of his departing message that I believe it's his former wife, I'm not sure of it, has read on air. And so I've got that part of the message for you.
Well, I hope that we hear what we need to hear. That way we can rest assured that Scott is in a better place. I think that you would be underestimating the influence of Scott Adams if you didn't know how much he meant to the conservative movement, media in general in America. Dilbert was one of the biggest shows and cartoon strips of all time. He built an empire on that, and then he went forward with Coffee with Scott Adams, which was just an unbelievable influence in so many people's lives. So join me in saying rest in peace, Scott Adams. We'll say a prayer for him and his family, and we just hope that he's in a much better place. Joan will continue with those headlines on the way. That is okay. I knew that he was on his last legs. But I did not see that news until just now. So I'm kind of reacting in real time, just as you are when Joan dropped the hammer on that. And I'm a little bit shocked. That's a tough one. Rest in peace, Scott. We'll do our due diligence on the other side, and we'll grab some Scott Adams clips later in the show, and we'll do him a bit more respect than I'm mustering right now. Because I'm a little bit caught off guard by that news. Rest in peace, Scott Adams. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. He was a giant in his industry. So rest in peace, Scott. We do get a lot to talk about in the meantime. Scott Adams would not want us to waste too much time on this with everything going on. If I was a betting man, we got lawsuits being filed in all of these states, Illinois, Minnesota, against the Trump administration for what ICE is doing on the ground. You know, enforcing the laws that are on the books. We'll talk about that and more on the way. Plus, Ilhan Omar called ICE an occupying force. That's an interesting take. We'll bring you that when we return. 9:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
It is 9:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And as we've just been talking about just into the newsroom, we've learned that Dilbert creator and conservative thought leader Scott Adams has passed away. He did leave a final message, and part of it dealt with his Christian conversion, as was read by a family member who I believe was his ex-wife.
It looks so attractive to me. So here I go. I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior and look forward to spending an eternity with him. The part about me not being a believer should be quite quickly resolved if I wake up in heaven. I won't need any more convincing than that. I hope I'm still qualified for entry.
Yeah, Scott Adams was 68 years old. Rest in peace, Scott. Prayers for his family. In other news of the day, it got a little crazy in Memphis on Sunday during one of those anti-ICE protests. There was a woman who was arrested. News Channel 3's Harrison Klopp, a reporter there, said the 55-year-old, whose name is Rebecca Leathers, is facing a long list of charges.
Charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, indecent exposure, vandalism, assault on an officer, and obstructing a highway after a state trooper said in a statement Rebecca banged on the trooper's windshield and window, screaming at him and attempting to open the passenger side door as protesters surrounded the vehicle. Leathers was later taken to the THP Memphis headquarters where the trooper said Leathers pulled down her pants, exposed herself, and attempted to urinate on the floor. As troopers tried to escort her to the bathroom, they say she began damaging and destroying property.
Now, that woman is being held without bond today. Meantime, in Dallas, another woman who worked at a hotel as a valet decided to become an activist while on the job. She posted a controversial video on TikTok in which she disclosed that ICE agents were staying at the hotel where she was working.
The woman, identifying herself only as Gia, acknowledged the risk in her video.
Quite frankly, I don't really care if I lose my job.
SMU political science professor Matthew Wilson.
Telling people where they are staying is an invitation for someone who may be a little unhinged to take some sort of dramatic or violent action.
Gia was fired, but says job offers have flowed in.
My community is showing up for me just like I wanted to show up for them.
Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Stocks are trading lower today. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand for my friends at Better Water LLC. These guys, we joke about all the time with the gay frogs and such, but there's no joking about what's in your water. You could have some nasty stuff in there. Sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli. And if you got that nasty stuff in your water, you want to call the best. You want to call the guys that have been cleaning up water for 55 years, Better Water LLC. They'll test your water for free, and if you have any of that nasty stuff in it, they have a range of options for you to clean it up. From reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights, Better Water has you covered. They're a local company based right out of Smyrna. They've been treating the water at the local coffee shops and the hospitals for years. These guys are pros, and they know exactly what they're doing. So for you, call them today and say, can you test my water? And if you got the nasty stuff in there, stop drinking the junk out of your tap. 615-355-6063. That's 615-355-6063. Call Better Water today or find them online, betterwater.com. We're back on the stream. What's up, guys? That's Scott Adams news. Man, prayers up for Scott and his family. Glad that he was able to convert to Christianity in his last days. I've been looking for Scott clips, and I'm gonna gather some good Scott clips. Make no mistake about it. Later in the show, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Rest in peace, Scott. His wife saying he converted to Christianity, though. Unbelievable news. I hope that he's up there resting with Jesus, and I believe that he is. That being said, there's a lot of stuff to get to, and I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, I don't think Scott Adams would want us to spend a lot of time, being upset or sad. So let's do what we do, and let's keep the show going. We got some more footage of protesters being owned. This one is it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You had the liberals furious, and they picked up. Oh wait, we got to go back. You give me a finger. What did I do?
You got about a minute left here. About a minute left.
What's
till
up?
We're back.
Oh, about a minute till we're back. Perfect. There was liberals that were very upset that an individual wasn't moving on his own under his own accord, so ICE agents had to pick him up and oblige him and move him. So I'll play the video. Look at that.
Arms and legs, and you can hear the bystanders protesting his detainment.
I seen some videos of them taking him by all fours, a U.S. citizen that was born here in St. Paul, Minnesota, for exercising his rights, recording ICE on a private property, and they took him. They grabbed him by all fours like he was a fucking animal, and they took him. So excuse my language. But again, born and raised here for recording, exercising his rights. Excuse my language one more time. That's bull.
Fox.
You know, it's fun. He says that he was just recording and exercising his rights. You say recording and exercising his rights, and I'll raise you impeding and obstructing. Because I bet you that's closer to the truth. He was an American citizen. Well, maybe he should have been at work. Maybe. We'll join you on the radio broadcast on the other side. Appreciate you guys joining us on YouTube and Rumble. It's 9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? Chris Hand here. Again, rest in peace to Scott Adams. The news breaking this morning that Scott Adams has passed away. But as you heard in the newscast with Joan Jones, he did convert to Christianity before he passed. And because of that, I think we know where he is. It's never too late. It's never too late. The grace of God is always going to be there if you're open to receive that gift. So rest in peace, Scott Adams. That's a tough one. As more reaction comes in, we'll have it for you here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. In the meantime, we've been discussing what's been happening in Minneapolis. We may have Bo joining us, Bo Diddle, around 10 o'clock. We might not. We were like crossing wires trying to set something up last night.
Two ships passing in the night.
We were two ships passing in the night. Isn't that a Dave Matthews Band song?
I think so.
Did you see Dave Matthews Band was like really upset about everything? Is the lead singer's name Dave Matthews?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whoever the lead singer is, hopelessly liberal.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
They're all out of Charlottesville. It's a mess. It's a mess. They've been very upset at ICE too. Ilhan Omar calls ICE in Minnesota, I quote, an occupying force. That's how she put it. Occupying. This is Ilhan Omar last night on CNN.
It feels like we have an occupying force that has come in to our city.
It's funny you should say that. Because, again, under the Biden administration, how many videos did we see with war-aged men in single file crossing the border, or the Biden administration raising the razor wire so they could come on in? It was never women and children. You remember that? And we said this is like an invasion. It's like we're importing an army, and we knew that they were importing terrorists. But that was not a bridge too far for the Democrats. They viewed them as neighbors and newcomers. But when federal law is being enforced, now there's occupiers here. Got it.
Is completely dangerous. It feels like we do not have a proper understanding of what the strategy is, what they're supposed to be doing when it comes to the federal law enforcement that has come into our community. And
they're removing illegal aliens, ma'am. That's pretty much all of it. That's the simplest way I can break it down. I don't know how you could break it down any. So we have no idea what they're doing. They're getting rid of illegal aliens. They released a list of some of the illegal aliens that they got, the worst of the worst: child rapists, murderers, rapists. We have no idea what they are doing. It's pretty obvious. The idiots that watch CNN will agree with Ilhan, and they'll clap like seals, and they'll say stunning and brave, and they'll say we have to resist. I saw a video yesterday, and it was a guy interviewing protesters, and he's asking them about the fraud. This is in Minnesota. He's asking them about the fraud. I kid you not, every leftist he went up to, they were like, I don't know. That's like a right-wing conspiracy theory. Or like another guy was like, I don't know. I haven't really heard much about it. I'd have to look into it. Like, these people are so hopelessly brainwashed, and it's because of leadership, and I say it with air quotes, like this, Ilhan Omar.
So it is one of those cases where it can result into a more dangerous situation. And I agree with our Attorney General Keith Ellison in saying we would like for you all to leave, and that we are taking action to require you to leave, because it doesn't make any sense why you are in our city outside of the PR strategy that the White House has been conducting.
It's so confusing. I'm so confused why ICE agents would want to get child rapists off the streets. It doesn't add up. I'm trying to wrap my head around this one. And I'm confused. Why would ICE agents want convicted murderers off the streets? It's just, your guess is as good as mine. We're all confused. What does this mean? What does this mean? You actually want to get rid of the criminals? What is this supposed to mean? It could mean anything. It could mean anything. They could be doing anything. It wasn't just Ilhan Omar. Mayor Jacob Fry, he used the word invasion. He said ICE is invading the streets of Minneapolis. This was during the press conference with Keith Ellison when they were announcing the lawsuits that are being filed. And I go back to, the invasion happened during the 4 years under Joe Biden, and you guys looked the other way. So it was no big deal. But ICE coming in to clean up the mess, that's the real invasion.
We don't use the word invasion lightly. What we are seeing is thousands, plural, thousands of federal agents coming into our city. And they're having a tremendous impact on day-to-day life.
Yeah, we don't want to use the word invasion lightly. But and on the conservative side, we also don't plan to use that word lightly. But the invasion that you're talking about took place during the Biden years. It was, I don't know, you tell me what number you think it was, and it was probably a bit higher when the illegal aliens were pouring in, being flown in, being welcomed as newcomers, conquering cities like Minneapolis. Millions. If thousands of ICE agents are a problem for Mayor Jacob Fry, where were you when millions upon millions of third worlders were coming into this country? Nowhere to be found. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan out of Minnesota says ICE makes people less safe. I guess that could be true if you're somebody that's driving a car into them. But I am of the opinion that ICE is making this city much more safe. Whether they want to admit it or not, that's the reality of the situation. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, who is one of the top contenders to become a senator for the state of Minnesota, says, no. ICE is making us less safe.
Just the day after, right, Renee Good was killed, we hear about 2 individuals being shot in Portland.
Yeah.
Right? So the message is pretty clear that's being sent, that people are in danger.
Wait. Hey, those 2 people that were shot in Portland, they also weaponized a vehicle against CBP agents, Customs and Border Patrol. And if I recall correctly, hold on, checks notes. Yeah, there were Tren de Aragua gang members involved in sex trafficking. Does getting rid of the Tren de Aragua sex traffickers also make people less safe? I didn't know how safe we were with the TDA members.
Just the day after, right, Renee Good was killed, we hear about 2 individuals being shot in Portland.
Yeah.
Right? So the message is pretty clear that's being sent, that people are in danger, right, and are unsafe when ICE agents are in our community. And so, let's also be clear about, what has occurred. It is, that as we have these ICE agents who are descending on Minnesota, it makes us all less safe.
Yep, you're less safe. I'm less safe. Mason, you're less safe today. Joan Jones, less safe.
No.
Everybody is less safe. We would be a safer country if instead of ICE, we just replace them with an army of Tren de Aragua members. Doesn't everybody understand this? How can we make you bigoted conservatives understand this? ICE is Nazis, Tren de Aragua, newcomers, neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
Does everybody understand? Everybody, you got it? Are you keeping score in the back of the class? You understand? Hey, you, pay attention. You'd be more safe with Tren de Aragua members and say thank you when they come. You stupid bigot. Okay. All right. Got it.
You sure about that?
This lady's going to be a senator. She's probably going to be the senator of the state of Minnesota, don't you know? The same woman that put on a hijab to go visit the Somali market to stand in solidarity with the Somali community. Got it. It's all so tiresome. Do you find this also tiresome? I do. It's not just the Minnesota folks. I mean, it's just, this is Democrats. I could tell you it's only happening. This is only Minnesota elected officials, but it's not. Everybody knows that. Hakeem Jeffries yesterday talking about Renee Nicole Good, the member of ICE Watch who weaponized her vehicle at an ICE agent. It's tragedy she died. I do. And I feel bad for her kids. I don't think that any American should be dying. But when you impede, obstruct, and then accelerate a vehicle toward an ICE agent, stupid games, stupid prizes. Hakeem Jeffries on Renee Nicole Good.
Renee Nicole Good should be alive today.
Actually, I agree with him. I don't mean to pause it. I agree with that. Had she been at home with the kids or at work or just complied with the lawful orders, Renee Nicole Good would be alive today. And you know what? She should be alive today. I agree with that. Let's see how much longer we agree with Hakeem Jeffries. It's like a 30-second clip. We're 4 seconds in. It's starting off good. I agree with him so far. Let's see how long that lasts.
There was no justification for that killing.
Ah, there it is. Okay. All right. It was immediately following the 4 seconds we agree. We stop agreeing. No justification. Tell you what, Hakeem, Timu Obama, just if you think that there's no justification for that, drive your car at a law enforcement officer and see what happens. I just don't understand these people. The video is out there. Everybody's seen it. It's like a dystopian reality we're living in, where there's two alternate realities happening at the exact same time, and it's infuriating. I see a lot of people pointing fingers like, oh, it's so tribalistic. And it's like, no, there's good and then there's evil. I'm having a hard time finding the gray area. Someone was being ridiculous, obstructing all day. What do you think is going to happen when you accelerate towards an ICE agent? Hakeem. He's got some things to say about the ICE agents and Kristi Noem.
That ICE agent and Kristi Noem, they've shown depraved indifference toward human life. That's what we saw. That's what the American people saw.
What about the depraved indifference towards human life when Laken Riley had her skull caved in by an illegal alien and couldn't even be recognized? What about the depraved indifference toward human life when Jocelyn Nunguri, this poor 12-year-old girl, was raped and left in a ditch? What about the mother of 5, Rachel Marin? The Democrats didn't even talk about it. They didn't even put it on the legacy media channels. Depraved indifference for human life. While ICE is in Minneapolis, again, I repeat myself, getting child rapists, getting murderers, getting convicted killers off the streets. And then they have the audacity to say that Kristi Noem and these ICE agents have a depraved indifference towards human life. Screw you. I can't with these people. I can't, like, what is he talking about? They're out there saving lives. Would you rather us leave the child rapists in the community? Would you rather them just say, you know what? This is fine. This is good. Screw those kids. Like, no. No. This is a problem that was created by the Democrats. We have to clean it up. We voted in a guy to clean it up. He had a mandate to do so. Mass deportation. Are you sure this is what you voted for? Yes. It's exactly what I voted for. In fact, I want them to go further. And if these elected officials want to continue to demonize ICE, screw them. 9:52, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Cover Nash. Do you need health insurance, but you're thinking to yourself, oh, I missed open enrollment, gee whiz, got to wait till next year. That's a myth. You don't have to wait till next year. That's what the big insurance companies want you to believe. With Cover Nash, you can get covered today, right now. No gimmicks, no waiting. Just talk to my friend Shane Ring. If you missed open enrollment, no problem. You lost your job coverage, no big deal. You're sick of overpriced junk insurance, you're in the right place. Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, even for specialists, ACA-compliant plans with free preventative care, plans for individuals, families, self-employed, small businesses, you name it, Shane can find the perfect plan for you. All you got to do is stop overpaying, stop waiting, and stop thinking you're stuck. Talk to Shane today, 615-465-0023, 615-465-0023, or book some time with Shane online, covernash.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Allen. Join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Up ahead, THP denies that one of its troopers hit an ICE protester. It has now released a video. And the Hollywood actor that U.S. Marshals are currently searching for. We've got that and more coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The video they released is insane, too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're mad at ICE. Let's stop Tennessee Highway Patrol vehicles.
Yeah.
They're not sending the smartest, guys. They're not sending their best. Trust me. And what happens to useful idiots when communists finally gain control? Does anybody know? I guess I'll have to look it up during the break. MS Now, or MSNBC, Katie Tur, after days of video being available, after great reporting from the New York Post, proving the links between Renee Nicole Good and ICE Watch, and just laying out the facts that she was there to obstruct and impede, and she was doing so all day, continued to push leftist narrative. And when she pushed the leftist narrative, she dug up an old leftist narrative, too. Listen to this. This is from MS Now, MSNBC, from yesterday.
Turmoil, the federal government says it is not deterred. It is now sending hundreds more federal agents to Minnesota to protect those ICE agents, according to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. And they're blaming both the news media and, quote, agitators for the chaos, claiming journalists are willfully misleading the public about Renee Nicole Good. Officials saying she was dangerous, not just some innocent mother of three. Just like they say Kilmar Abrego Garcia isn't just a Maryland father.
Okay. Go home, Katie Tur. You're drunk. The officials are saying that legacy media is ramping up the rhetoric by saying Renee Nicole Good was dangerous. Yep, she accelerated a car towards an ICE agent. She was not that she was just some innocent mother of three. Okay. She was a member of ICE Watch. You know, remember they said the same thing about Kilmar. They said he wasn't just some Maryland dad. Right. He wasn't an MS-13 gang member involved in human trafficking. And he didn't also beat up his wife that one time. Right? And he wasn't from Maryland? Hold on. Let me check this. Oh, he wasn't from Maryland. Weird. How can the Trump administration keep blaming legacy media for ramping up the rhetoric and confusing folks? I don't know. I don't know how they can get away with that. Thanks, Katie, for setting us straight. Bo Diddle's going to be in here. He was in Minneapolis over the weekend for the riots and the protests. I've never seen Bo have to go to a protest in riot gear, but he did over the weekend. We'll talk about the Minneapolis protests on the way. Hang out with us. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. Yeah, 10 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got a heads up for commuters today. I-24 eastbound remains closed down at this hour near Manchester after an overturned tractor-trailer accident that took place around 7:30 this morning. Police are still diverting traffic off the roadway at Woodbury Highway exit, and they do expect that closure to continue throughout the midday hours. Again, that's I-24 eastbound closed near Manchester. Well, you may have seen this video from the Memphis protest over the weekend.
Move! Get out of my way! Get out of my way! Move!
Yeah, it's dash cam video of a Tennessee Highway Patrol trooper being held up by a protester who was standing in front of his cruiser. That protester then drops down and disappears, but his hands are still visible. THP is saying that the claims circulating that man was hit by the trooper are false and that entering the roadway, active roadways, is not an act of protected protesting. Clarksville police have identified the woman whose body was inside a van pulled from the Cumberland River on Friday. She's 33-year-old Amber Nall. The operator of a tugboat says that he witnessed that van go into the water about 7:30 Friday morning when he called for help. It happened near the Loch B South boat ramp in Clarksville. Police are still investigating. A federal jury in Knoxville is set to hear testimony today in a First Amendment case involving a Tullahoma high school and a former student there. In the summer of 22, that student posted memes on social media that poked fun at the school's principal. News 2's Jaxie Pigeon.
His legal team argues that the content did not disrupt school operations, but administrators still issued a 3-day suspension, which they believe crossed a constitutional line. The school later removed the suspension and dropped the social media policies at the center of the case, but only after the lawsuit was filed.
Now, the students' lawyers are seeking monetary damages. They say there needs to be consequences. News broke earlier this morning that Dilbert creator and the conservative creative thought leader, Scott Adams, has died. His ex-wife breaking the news this morning in this video.
This isn't good news. Of course, he waited till just before the show started, but he's not with us right anymore. I'm going to try to get through this.
And she goes on reading from a final message that he left to say that he did accept Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior before his death. Scott Adams was 68 years old. And finally, U.S. Marshals are now helping in the search for Hollywood actor Timothy Busfield. The Field of Dreams actor has been accused of sexually abusing 2 boys, twins, who worked on the set of the show The Cleaning Lady, which Busfield directed. A warrant for Timothy Busfield was issued on Friday. He has been missing ever since. That is the latest news. We've got weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN 10:07. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Gay Frogs and Such, 55 years in the business. We love those guys. BetterWater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us, YouTube and Rumble. You're going to want to check out the YouTube and Rumble chat so you can see my handsome friends, Bo Diddle and Gabe Victel. They're in studio. What's up, guys?
What's up? If you guys watch the Rumble chats, you'll get to see me dressed like Uncle Eddie, according to my wife. She says I look like a complete idiot. So if you guys are wondering what I look like, check out the Rumble and YouTube chat.
I feel like, have you ever seen the pictures of The Rock in like 1995?
Yes. Yeah.
You're like the white version of that right now.
Hey, I'll take it. That's better than Uncle Eddie.
It's an upgrade. You guys had a busy weekend.
We did.
Yeah. You were insane enough to fly out to Minnesota, don't you?
Wasn't on our own wish. It wasn't our own doing.
No. Hold on. It actually was Bo's own doing.
We have a job to do.
No,
it's
I know, but I just thought it was funny that you said it wasn't your choice. But it was because he sent it in.
Okay,
to a degree.
But like, I like living vicariously through you guys because secretly I want to go to these kinds of things.
You should.
But I also don't put myself in the line of danger because I have kids at home, which is why there were riots in the first place. Had she been focused on her children and not impeding officials, we wouldn't have found ourselves in this situation.
Yeah.
I digress. What was the scene like in Minnesota? You were there Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and Sunday, but we left before it got out of hand on Sunday.
Yeah. This is the first time I've seen you, Bo, in like full riot gear. I saw a picture of you on, I think it was Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been the gram. Follow Bo Diddle all over those places. Gabe as well. But you had the full riot helmet on, and I thought to myself, well, this is different. Because a lot of times at protests, you'll wear a onesie to blend in. You'll wear like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer onesie or something, and you'll blend in with the lunatics. I think you were a little bit more concerned about safety this time.
Yeah, so the hat was Cam Higbee, so that was kind of just for the photo op. But I did have my own. I was wearing a shiesty to blend in. It was cold. I didn't want my ears to get too cold. I am still a little baby about that. But it was also safety in blending in because everyone there was covering their face. And so I wanted to cover my face as well because if they see someone recording with their head, with just their face out, that's a red flag to them. So I did try and blend in as best as I could, and it worked pretty well. They didn't get too scared of me.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the us filming on our phones to get stuff out quick, because a lot of the posts that go on the Frontlines X page are all in real time,
Yep.
So we're not using like big professional cameras and like uploading something to like a drive and then getting it like approved or whatever, which it does get approved by Brandon. Thankfully, a lot of the stuff is approved by him. But when we're using our phones, like protesters kind of get this weird feeling that you're not real media. They think that you're like right-wing, Nazi press or something
Bigots,
like that.
if you will,
yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, well, you guys are using your phones. Where are you posting this? Well, what are your socials? They probably asked, I think it was on Saturday, they asked Cam Higbee like 8 times in the span of 15 minutes who he was, what his socials were.
I would be willing to argue that they knew the answer and they were just trying to heckle him. I don't think that it was a genuine
kind of the riot guy.
I don't think it was a genuine question of who are you posting for.
So let's zoom out a little bit before we get into the protest stuff, the riot stuff. Did you guys go to the scene of the shooting?
Yes.
Okay, can you describe to us it looks like a residential neighborhood from the videos, but what does Minneapolis look like where all of that took place?
So they had the streets blocked off, and we went on Saturday. I think that was our first time actually going to the scene of the shooting, and there was a huge memorial there. Something important to point out is if you saw it on Frontlines on that day, on Saturday, they had some type of, I guess you would call it spiritual, but not Christian at all. They were doing some type of seance over it.
I saw that. It was weird.
There was no Christian symbolism at the memorial. It was all pagan and FIs and F the police.
And this lady was allegedly like a devout Christian, according to the media.
According to mainstream media.
If you watch the mainstream media, I saw a video where MS Now was interviewing a Trump supporter, and he was wearing an F ICE shirt or a Black Lives Matter shirt.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, you'll see a video of the vigil and the little shamanistic Christian
it was
ritual.
weird. I remember like when they were running through the streets, they were, having their whatever like the smoke is waving around. It smelled horrible. It was one of the most unbearing smells I'd ever.
Well, I was scared it would like some type of demonic activity would try and enter me. So I had my shiesty covering my nose.
But yeah, I like when we were going over, like me and Bo went over to where the girls like memorial thing was, right? The lady, there's all the flowers and whatever. Yeah. We went over there first, and then all of a sudden they like start flooding the area and start, doing these rituals over where she died. And I was like, dude, this is insane.
It's bizarre. And it looks like a huge vigil. Like, is it bigger than the one for Charlie at Turning Point headquarters?
No, at Charlie Kirk headquarters, I don't know about that because I wasn't at the headquarters for that vigil. Something I do want to point out though to the viewers and the watchers listening is the completely different demographic on Friday versus Saturday.
Yeah.
So let's get into that. Let's start with Friday.
That is very important.
So you get there Friday, you see this ritual happening.
Yeah. Well, no, that was Saturday. The ritual was Saturday. Yeah. Friday, we didn't get in till night, and we were wanting to just go to sleep. But Twitter is just storming with riots going on right now. It's like, we got to get out in the field. So we go out there, and they're at the Canopy Hotel, which, by the way, they have no confirmation that that's where ICE agents are staying. And we talked to some higher-ups in the hotel later on, and they said, no one's staying here.
Yeah,
it is just a random hotel.
So these people were protesting, and people that were trying to sleep, like they were just being a nuisance to the public.
And just imagine, like, you just pick a random hotel. Let's take the Nashvilleian citizens, for example, and it's just like a bunch of leftists choose the Renaissance to protest at, and outside, everyone at the Renaissance is just getting bombarded and. Then they used dumpsters to start banging on. They had air horns. They were screaming. They were, hitting the windows. They were doing everything they could to disrupt everyone at just a innocent hotel.
Insane.
Yeah, that was probably like the loudest protest. I mean, you could call it a protest. You could call it a riot. I don't know what the line is there when it comes to Minneapolis.
Well, it was an unlawful assembly.
100%.
And you had a video that you posted to Frontlines where riot police did interfere there.
Yes. So
and that was that Minneapolis police?
Minneapolis police, yeah. So later on, I would say probably around 10 is when the riot police started to come in. And these people were all... like, they knew what the police were doing. So automatically you could tell they were experienced because they knew that the police were trying to box them in. They were coming from all four corners and were slowly boxing them in to a small area, and then they all would get arrested.
Yeah.
And they automatically knew it, and they started to run away and cause a disruptance in other places. They were going down active roads. They were stopping roads, making the car stop. Everyone was honking, like, get off. What are you doing? They tried to go down the highways. It was a complete SHIT show.
That's insane. So at this point, though, it seems more of a nuisance than chaotic violence.
I wouldn't say violence, no.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not like they were assaulting citizens or, throwing ICE, chunks through business windows. They were throwing them at ICE.
No, they were throwing them at the police.
Throwing them at the police. They were throwing these, like, big ice rocks at the police. But they weren't throwing, they weren't, like, assaulting citizens, which if that's, like, the line of we say violence, then, I don't know what violence is anymore, because I would say that them throwing ice at the police officers would warrant them, like, literally getting arrested or, like, pepper sprayed.
It's also important to point out there's a difference between snowballs and ice balls.
Yeah.
Well, and I also saw videos of frozen water bottles that are being used like bricks in these same areas.
And they were aiming at the cars, too. So not only was it the policeman getting hit, but it was also destruction of property.
Now, how many of these individuals out there were there for Renee Nicole Good, and how many of them were out there just to cause chaos?
Probably say 50-50.
I don't know.
Dude, there was like a ton of, I don't know what Bo's perspective on this, but from what I saw, there was a ton of Somalis that showed up.
That's what I was going to say.
There was a ton of like gangster black dudes that showed up. And a lot of these people just seemed like they were there to hang out. Like they were just getting wasted. So many of them were drunk. Like by the end of the night, everybody was like shit-faced. Sorry, excuse my language. They were they were wasted.
And the stereotypes are true. They had Hennessy.
They were like holding bottles of Hennessy, and they were swinging around. They were we at one point got bombarded at night. I mean, it was me, Bo, Cam Higbee, and then two other people who I'll leave unnamed, I guess, that were all there. And they start pressing Cam about him being like a genuine reporter because there was this like tall, lanky white guy who's absolutely wasted out of his mind, pressing everybody. And then like a group of young teenage black individuals,
engineers, doctors and engineers,
young scholars, they started pulling up and pressing all of us to leave and getting up all in our faces.
And at this point, you guys don't have any security but each other.
No, not at all.
No, at no point did we ever have security.
So it's just a group of 5 of you. Did you guys kind of stick together all weekend?
Tried to, but I mean, at the end of the day, we have jobs to do. And so Cam would see stuff that he wanted to go to, and I would be like, I would rather get this. So we would disperse.
So Nick wasn't there with us, but Nick Sorter was also there this weekend. That's public information. But he wasn't there with us on Friday towards that end of the night. But it was basically that kind of group of people sticking through most of the weekend together Saturday. And even Sunday morning, we met up with Cam for a bit.
Now, in the places that you guys were, was the mainstream media also there?
There was a lot of media, yes. Yeah. I couldn't tell you what outlets they were. Don't know. But I mean, I saw Rav was on the ground. I know Blaze was on the ground. Daily Wire was on the ground.
Well, I wouldn't say that is like mainstream conservative media, but in terms of like mainstream media, like
NBC.
CNN was there. For a fact, because when we were walking into the hotel, we saw the same coverage of what we were like experiencing on TV. I'm sure MSNBC was there. I'm sure Fox was probably there, like very low key.
When you look at their reporting versus what you saw on the ground, how did it differ?
Oh, it differed a lot because to them it was a needed disruptance. And to me, it's never needed to just aggravate a random hotel. Like, what about that is furthering your cause, going to an innocent hotel that has nothing to do with it and keeping everyone up? They probably have no clue what you're talking about. You know, they're coming from out of state. They're probably working. Don't know what they could be doing, but they're probably just working. They don't even live in Minneapolis, and they're staying up for this.
I mean, even on Saturday, I don't know if you saw on X, Bo posted this video of them blocking the roads.
Oh, this was great.
And he interviewed an Asian fellow who was in his car, and he was just pissed off about everybody blocking the roads. He's like, we all have lives. We are just trying to get home. I'm just trying to get to my job, et cetera, et cetera. And what was actually really funny about that interaction was was the second interaction that Bo caught on camera.
Yeah.
The first one he didn't post because he didn't get the full context. But we showed up, or we start walking away because it was freezing. It was like 17 degrees outside.
And I forgot my shiesty.
Yeah,
this is Saturday, by the way.
Yeah, this is Saturday. He forgot his face mask. We didn't have gloves or anything. And this liberal, white guy starts getting mad at this black woman because she is getting pissed at the protests. And then he starts going like, F ICE, F Trump. If you don't support like this protest that's going on, then, you're with them or whatever. And, she's talking in her very, high Q voice like, boy, I'm just trying to get home. I just got kids. She was a patriot, to be honest. She was.
I wouldn't call her a patriot. She just didn't care.
She wasn't there for the noise.
Yeah, she was just like, I don't give an F. What you doing? She was like, I gotta get where I'm going.
Yeah. It was hilarious, though. I thought it was great.
All right, so we got Bo Diddle and Gabe Victel in studio. They were at the Minneapolis protests all weekend long. When we get back, I want to talk more about safety and police presence, because I think that's a big part of the conversation that we haven't really dove into yet. So we'll do that on the other side. It is 10:22. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Zero Res Nashville. 4 kids, 2 dogs, love them all to death. My carpets, on the other hand, it's a love-hate relationship, because the kids track in mud, the dogs track in dirt, and then we're left to clean it up. When I say we're, I mean I envision it as a team. And on my team is the guys at Zero Res. It's the Maha of carpet cleaning. They use their exclusive ZR water. No soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue. The carpets, the upholstery doesn't just look clean. It's going to stay clean longer. We trust these guys. You can trust these guys too. Right now, you can get tons of great deals, but it's not just carpets. They do air ducts, tile, rugs, the works. Perfect if you deal with what I deal with on a daily, because the kids won't take their shoes off when they come back in the house. Right now is the time to book. Call my friends at Zero Res today, 615-535-9376. That's the number to call, 615-535-9376. You can also book online. Super easy to do. Just click ZeroResNashville.com.
up, President Trump has some bad news for Somalis living in the United States. Also, DHS has just announced an important arrest in Nashville. That and more coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. It is 10:27 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. In studio with my friends Bo Diddle, Gabe Victel. What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah,
Doing really
fantastic.
good.
It's nice to be in Tennessee after a weekend in Minneapolis. I'm
Much
sure.
warmer, a lot less quality Leering's corruption.
Dude, that
feels
was so
good.
sick.
You guys know Nick, right?
Yeah. I mean, not
which one? Well,
Nick
Shirley.
Shirley. We don't
yeah.
have his number in our boys, but we've ran into each other quite a bit.
Yeah, I like the Turning Point events. We'll interact pretty often. His mom is a very sweet lady. I'm a big fan.
Perfect. Shout out to Nick Shirley's mom.
Dude, she's great.
Police presence on the ground in Minnesota. What
Yeah.
was it like? I mean, in some of the videos, I see riot police, and then in some of the reports, I hear that they're telling the Minneapolis police to just leave,
Stand down.
and back
Yeah.
off.
So I would say on Friday, we'll go day by day. So we'll start on Friday. Friday, there was no police in sight until
Like 10:30.
10:30, around that time. And that's when it was like, okay, time to go. Your message, I'm quoting, by the way, your message has been heard. It's time to leave. It's news, or not news. It's a volume disruption. That's when the police came in on Friday. But prior to that, if anything popped off, there was not police inside.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, not any police inside. Saturday, you had 25,000 people on the ground, potentially more. I don't know the official numbers, but they were all organizing themselves. They had people in green vests directing traffic, or not directing, just completely shutting down traffic. That was just everyone fending for themselves. And then Saturday night at the memorial, we saw 4 police at the end of the corner. That was it.
Would you say that they were monitoring from afar, though? Were there drones in the air, police drones in the air?
I didn't see drones. I saw news helicopters.
Yeah, maybe there was police around, but I don't know.
I
The
would
most police
disagree.
officers that I had seen was, other than Friday night, at around 10:30, was Saturday night when, after we went to the memorial vigil thing, we actually went back to the canopy because we were told that they were going to show up there again. And there was 7 protesters.
Less than that, 5.
Five protesters. They were making a ton of noise, using some sort of noise machine that was breaking sound barriers, because I couldn't bear
It's
it.
an air horn.
Yeah, air horns. They then leave, and I kid you not, 2 minutes later, Nick Sorter is pulled up to the side of the road because he's having a conversation with us. We told him to just come. He pulls his car to the side of the road, and 8 police cars box his car in, and they all step out and they start asking us about the noise. And we're like, listen, we're just reporters.
And those are Minneapolis police officers.
Minneapolis
including
police.
a van. They had a van ready to bring all of us in.
Like a paddy wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were questioning us about, why we were there, and about the noise, because the officers that were inside of the canopy, I guess, had reported that people were, they were committing a noise disturbance. And
I want to hear more about this, and I want to hear how it compares to other situations you've been in.
Yeah.
Specifically, I remember one protest that you were in, I believe it was San Francisco, where you said it was the first time you actually feared for your life. And I want to get your insight on how this event over the weekend compared to that. But we got a break for news. We'll be back with Bo Diddle and Gabe Victel in a moment. 10:31, Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is now 10:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A reminder for drivers that eastbound I-24 is closed this morning near Manchester because of an overturned tractor-trailer accident. Police are diverting traffic off I-24 at the Woodbury Highway exit. They're saying this closure could be through the midday hours. The Trump administration is ending temporary protected status for Somali immigrants. According to a post on X from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, Somali immigrants in the country with temporary protected status must leave the country by March 17th. Now, Somalis have enjoyed TPS, as it's called, since 1991. DHS says conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that it no longer meets the TPS guidelines. A dangerous illegal alien with a long rap sheet has been arrested once again in Nashville. Juan Alvarado Garcia from El Salvador, a member of Nashville's Brown Pride gang, arrested in April of 24. He was released by the Biden administration. Fox 17's Karen Aguilar says he's been deported several times, but he keeps coming back to Nashville.
DHS told Fox 17 News in part, his rap sheet includes arrests for domestic violence, narcotic possession, violating a protective order, trespassing, larceny, and illegally carrying a weapon. Court records show in Nashville he has a string of misdemeanor offenses, including reckless driving and drug charges.
Alvarado Garcia is due in court on Monday. He's being held on a $48,000 bond, and he also has a detainer now from ICE. Arguments continue at the Supreme Court over whether boys can compete on girls' sports teams and vice versa. The court is hearing arguments at this hour.
Advantages of sex male hormones, and can the school borrow him from the women's team?
Now, that case centers on a West Virginia high school male. The justice's decision is expected in June. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Middle Tennessee, winter is here. January, February means cold temps, possibly some snow, and real stress on your home systems. And I got to ask you the question, are you ready? If you're not, you got to talk to my friends at Busy Bee. Right now, if you need a new HVAC, you can get 0% financing for 18 months, a complimentary UV light treatment with any new system install, and a free 5-year labor upgrade. That's a $750 value. If you got some plumbing needs, that same 0% financing applies, plus a free 50-gallon water heater with select repipes and $600 off. If that doesn't apply. For indoor air quality, take 15% off UV lights when you book a premium duct cleaning and more. Plus, you can see my friends at Busy Bee at the Tennessee Home Show this weekend in Murfreesboro at the Miller Coliseum. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to stop by and hang out with those guys on Friday. You should stop by as well. Plus, don't forget, if you buy a Beehive Club membership this month, you get one free for a friend. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com. It's 10:37. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. I was just talking to Bo and Gabe off the air. I think Gabe has a crush on Joan Jones.
Dude, I mean,
he does like older women.
Listen, this, I don't want to get
it just stays
right
between
now.
us. Don't worry.
Look, she's a pretty lady. I don't know. Look, I can't. It's a compliment.
Gabe's stopping by her office after this.
No.
He's like, can you show me where the news closet is? I was like, no, Gabe, we can't. We got to focus. We got to focus on the riots.
Listen, I love. I love talking to adults in general. I don't really relate to
that. Just sounds weird. Okay, I love talking about riots. Let's get into it.
All right, my guys were in Minneapolis over the weekend. We were talking about the police presence before we broke for the news with Gabe's crush, Joan Jones. And so I remember a protest in San Francisco that you guys went to, which I think we talked about over the summer, where you said it was the first time you feared for your life.
Yeah.
At one of these protest riots. And I think that protest was really just like a lot of trannies.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. And I wonder if you felt the same vibe in Minnesota and Minneapolis.
Yeah. So in terms of fearing for your life, I didn't necessarily fear for my life, but I also wasn't pressing them the same way that I pressed the people in San Francisco. So I do believe if they knew I was a right-winger the way that they did in San Francisco, it would have been just as bad, if not worse. And there is a correlation because San Francisco, California, and then you have Minneapolis, Minnesota, both Democratic states, and police, they don't believe in police. The majority of people there believe in defunding the police, and so that's going to make the situation worse in their eyes if they bring in the police. So they do everything they can to avoid it, and that puts everyday people like us in so much danger.
So how do you approach a situation like that? I mean, like, your strategy has to change going into the Minneapolis
Yes,
protest.
100%. And I tell our guys straight up, I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, my life is not worth more than getting the footage. So I'm going to take the necessary precautions, whether it's wearing a shiesty or whether it's being in full riot gear. I do what I feel is necessary to either blend in or be as safe as possible. And those people, they were looking for violence. And so if I press them in any way and say, listen, I don't think that what the ICE officer did was uncalled for. I think he feared for his life. If I said that, I would probably not be here.
Yeah.
That's how violent they were.
I completely agree with Bo. I think that, obviously with him having also just been married, it's not like the best thing to do. But I also
get murdered. It's frowned upon.
No, 100%.
But if I wasn't married, Gabe saying
you got to check with the wife.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind if I get murdered this weekend?
not get killed, but like press these people, because I'm a young guy, I'm not married or anything, and I love pissing these people off. And I don't think any of them had firearms. I think at best they probably had knives on them or something. But like if I was, wearing like a Kevlar vest or something, and let's say I had one of those helmets as well, dude, I would love to press those people and
would have loved to get murdered. Didn't run it by the wife.
Listen, you got to remember, all these people are low T. They're not going to touch me. There was a guy on Saturday who got like this close to my face.
Inches.
And he was like, what, probably 6'1", 6'2", or something.
Are you talking about the one at the memorial, or are you talking about Friday night?
No, they got at the memorial that he was
the
pressing
tall
Cam,
Somali.
and then he pressed you, and then he got up in my face. And, I just wasn't scared. Like, I don't know. I just looked at this guy, and I'm like, he's not going to do anything to me. And if he touches me, like, I'm just going for his legs, kind of thing. I also trusted that Bo's professional boxing career could kick in and he could take the guy out for me.
So is the National Guard on the ground? Did you see National Guard officers? Because Walt said that they were mobilized just in case.
They are on the ground to my knowledge, but no, we didn't see them.
So it was just Minneapolis police.
It was just Minneapolis police. And then they had like Minneapolis correctional officers show up at one point too. Like they had like different, colored vests and stuff, but I'm assuming it's just some sort of department.
Did you guys go by the ICE facility in Minnesota?
We didn't.
Did not.
We stayed wherever the riots/protests were, the mostly peaceful protests. We stayed wherever they were.
Am I wrong for thinking that these ones didn't get as out of hand because of the temperature?
No, you're not wrong at all.
Right.
I think that's very accurate. Had it been warmer, I think they would have stayed out longer. And, people are also just more active during the summer. It's not even like the cold weather. For some reason, people just have more energy in the summer. I think these people were like, they were trying. A few of them were really trying to make something like that happen. They just didn't have enough supporting characters to back them up. And I think that there was maybe 5 or 10 of them ready to start looting and burning buildings down. But the supporting cast were like, I'm cold.
Yeah, I think conservatives right now who are maybe joking about like the presence of some of these people showing up are underestimating what could happen this summer, because like this was a situation that wasn't like completely manufactured or anything, right? Like this is just like a natural thing that happened, and then like they decided to rile up their support behind Renee Bad or whatever. But well, I don't think
was that
she
a
was
play on words?
Yeah, no, I don't think she was a great person personally. But regardless, I think this summer, like there could just be some other random scenario where like ICE kills someone or like a police officer kills someone, and the midterms are going to be tanked because they're going to probably, depending on how they react, which I think they will react very, very poorly. I think that it'll probably be Summer of Love 2.0 then, not now.
And I feel like they want Winter of Love, but I do think that the temperatures play into that.
Yeah.
But given the energy you see on the ground, right, being in the midst of it, does this taper off or does this keep going for a little while?
Oh, I think it tapers off. I don't think that this is quite big enough yet. And I think that they did not see enough action from this weekend to say, let's keep this going. I think they're going to wait for the next big news story.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about this being a funded protest, a Soros protest, out-of-state agitators. Was there anything that you guys saw on the ground that led you to believe that that might be the case?
Yes. Now, paid, I don't know about. I always just try and stay away from paid because I don't know about that. But I do think it was manufactured.
Unless you see the deposit slips, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to prove that.
I do think it was manufactured, though, in the sense of a lot of sponsorships, a lot of people seeing it on their news feeds. But I also find it to like go against what I just said. I also find it hard to believe that many people are going to fly into Minneapolis for a protest. And that's why I wanted to start in the very beginning of our segment. The Friday protest was night and day compared to the Saturday protest.
Bigger?
A lot. Oh my gosh, probably 100 times bigger. And then the people.
Saturday was 100 times.
Yeah,
bigger.
Saturday was 100 times bigger. And then completely different people. But it was also older people that were less violent. Friday night was the people that were violent, wanting to cause chaos.
Scholars.
The doctors and engineers. Saturday was the older FIs people that were probably finding this on Indivisible.
Cable news boomers.
Yeah, cable news boomers. But I find it hard to believe that all of these people are just going to fly out to Minneapolis like, hey, let me spend at least $500, probably more, a lot more, to go to a protest in Minneapolis.
I mean, the followers always like tell us to, like in Bo's comment sections, like all the time, even if we don't see something that's like fishy in a video, they will always pick it out. They'll be like, oh, that person is the same person that was in this other state in Nick Shirley's video, or this person was, in Portland in Cam Higby's video, or this person was in Seattle on Jonathan Cho's X page, and we'll be like in DC, or like we'll be in Florida. So it's like, are these people really that passionate?
So, okay, that you brought up Portland, which is a good angle to take.
Yeah.
Did you, when you saw that there was another CBP shooting, it wasn't ICE, but it was another shooting, and it happened in Portland. Did you think that was going to inflame the protesters in Minneapolis? And then when it came out that it was TDA, were you surprised that it disappeared as quickly as it did from the news?
I didn't think that it was going to necessarily inflame Minneapolis. I thought that they were so fired up about Renee Good. There's really nothing that could be said other than another ICE shooting. And then a lot of people, too, were passionate about Minneapolis specifically. They were Minneapolis locals, and they were like, get out of the streets of Minneapolis. They weren't saying get out of the streets in the U.S. They were like, get out of Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So I don't think Portland necessarily affected them the way that Minnesota ICE did.
Especially because, like, the Renee situation happened very close to where, like, George Floyd, died.
2 blocks.
There was a lot of, like, people who were posting the maps or whatever, and it's like a 15-minute walk or something, right?
Does Renee Nicole Good get a golden casket and 10 funerals?
They'll probably give it to her.
I sure hope not. No, she won't get it, bro. She's a white lesbian lady, which is sad. It kind of, there is this like weird perspective that is like, do people actually hate white people that much more? Because like if she was black, this would be 10 times bigger than it already was.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But the fact that, or if she was like Hispanic, not even if she was Hispanic, I think like she literally would have to have been black.
Imagine if she was Somalian.
Well, yeah, if she was like Somalian, oh my goodness, they would be like investigating Nick Shirley for, something. I don't know what.
He orchestrated it. It's what
yeah,
they'd
like
say.
they would allege that or something. But the fact that she's white, and I'm not saying people should care because again, she was completely in the wrong in my opinion, and I think that the investigations will show that. But the fact that she's white and people won't care as much kind of says a lot about society, says a lot about our liberal friends.
Says a lot about the left. Yeah.
Oh, that is something. Do we have time for one quick point?
Absolutely.
Okay. That was something that pissed me off so much. So on Saturday, we're filming MOS for YouTube. And I asked this guy.
That's man on the street content.
Yeah, man on the street. Sorry, I should have clarified. Man on the street content for YouTube where I'm just talking to people. And I went up to this guy and I was like, hey, do you mind if I get you in a quick interview? He goes, you need to be talking to people of color. And that made me so mad. I was like, that's literal segregation. Like, I'm going to pick you out. I'm going to talk to you specifically because you're brown. Like, how do people just not see the racism in that like white people now get no showtime, no watch time?
To the point that even a leftist goes, well, my opinion doesn't matter because I happen to be white.
That's literally what he was saying. Yes, 100%.
But like their opinion does matter because then you have like a person of color disagree with them and they're like, oh, well, this person's like a bigot, Uncle Tom, whatever. So it's like, I don't know. They like want their cake, and
by his logic, we could go talk to a Mexican conservative, and then he'd be like, "No, they're wrong." And now they start.
That's the wrong brown person.
Wrong brown person.
No. Where do you guys go next? Where are you planning? What are you thinking?
That's a great question. We're still trying to figure out. We're going to be somewhere this weekend for sure. We just got to figure it out. Something I want to do probably today is I want to start a tip line and email where people can start sending us in protest tips because it is very hard to find these places. Minnesota was easy because like you just knew it was going to happen, but like there was stuff that popped off in Austin on Saturday night too that looked just as bad as Minneapolis, if not worse. And I was like, I would love to be there, but I didn't know about it. Yeah. So I do need to start a tip line that people that are viewing, if you guys hear stuff, please start sending it to me. Next time we come on your show, I'll be able to give out that tip line.
I know that you check your DMs all the time. Where can we find you on Twitter?
Yeah, for now, if you guys do see anything, please DM it to me on Instagram at Bodittle, BODITTLE. I'm always checking DMs.
Yeah. Just check out Bo's stuff. We'll be at the March for Life, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So, if you guys are cool conservatives that care about unborn children, then come say hi to us. There's probably going to be tens of thousands of people there.
You'll be easy to find. It'd be totally, especially if you're wearing your turtleneck.
Yeah. Just look for Uncle Addy.
Just look for a shiesty. He'll probably be wearing that too.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for coming through. Appreciate you guys putting your necks on the line to go out there and get this footage and then come here and give us the breakdown. And we'll talk to you real soon after your next protest.
Sounds good. And shout out to it feels like all of my like family watches you. So shout out to my amazing pastor Sterl if you're watching. Shout out to you. Deb, the amazing pastor wife. Shout out to you. Randy Knight, my father-in-law. If you're listening right now, shout out to you. Madison, if you're watching at home, shout out to you. Okay, I'm going to quit shouting out.
Unironically, we are the #1 radio programming for all of Bo's family.
This is true.
We appreciate it.
This is true.
If you guys want to hang out, we got a lot more on the way. 10:53 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You're 13 days into 2026 and you're still living with pain. Why are you doing this to yourself? Call my friends, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley. His team are the absolute best and the first and only office in Tennessee with a brand new device called the Hydro Wave that is going to stimulate stem cells for real cellular healing. No surgery, no needles, no opioids. So no matter what you're dealing with, back pain, neck pain, sciatica, herniated or bulging disc, knee pain, numbness in your arms or legs, they can help you out. The Hydro Wave is unbelievable. Plus, you pair that with the anti-gravity machines, the robot lasers. This is as advanced as it gets. These guys will review your MRI, explain what's happening, and come up with a unique plan to fix it. Start a pain-free life today. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or book an appointment online, painisbad.com.
Encouraging news about cancer survival rates. This story and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. What's up, Ken? How are you?
I'm doing all right, Brother Chris Han. How about you boys?
I'm good, man. I'm still in here. I'm still BSing with Bo and Gabe. They haven't left yet. I told them the interview was over, and they're still here. I said, you guys have to leave. They said, we're not leaving.
Well, who knows, man? There might be a riot breakout somewhere around here.
Listen, there could be. You never know what's going to happen. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. Scott Adams passed away today. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I heard Joan reporting.
Scott Adams passed away. Very sad. Rest in peace to Scott Adams and his family. Prayers going out to the family, I should say. But just a heartbreaking story. In the meantime, we got Supreme Court cases being discussed on men competing in girls' sports, which I don't know why this is continuing to happen. I don't know why this is even a debate, but here we are. The year is 2026, my friends. That's a girl's penis, apparently, so don't worry about it.
I think they should be focusing on all the women competing in men's sports.
That's a good look. Oh, that's right.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Weird. You would almost think maybe there's some advantages based on your biology. I'm not a biologist. I don't know. We also have more protests and riots being carried out right now in Minnesota. We're keeping our eyes on that. And on the way, we still got a lot to talk about, a little bit of time. I want to talk about Scott Bessent digging in on the fraud in Minnesota, Treasury investigations, IRS investigations. Also, Secretary Scott Bessent called Tim Walz a coward. Why did he call him a coward? We'll bring you that on the way. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Doctors are calling it a breakthrough. Cancer survival rates have increased dramatically over the years. Dr. William Dayhut, Chief Scientific Officer at the American Cancer Society, mentions a few reasons as to why. It says research and treatment options have come a long way.
Our science is finding really better therapies, changing the lives of folks. And really, we've doubled the 5-year survival rate for people with metastatic disease now.
Findings from the American Cancer Society show that 70% of people diagnosed with cancer survived 5 years or more in the period from 2015 to 2021. That's up from about half in the mid-1970s. Former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton refusing to appear on Capitol Hill today for a scheduled deposition about their dealings with Jeffrey Epstein. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer.
As a result of Bill Clinton not showing up for his lawful subpoena, which again was voted on unanimously by the committee in a bipartisan manner, we will move next week in the House Oversight Committee markup to hold former President Clinton in contempt of Congress.
The Clintons say in a 3.5-page open letter to Comer that they're strongly pushing back against that. They say there is little information on Epstein to share, and they claim that the subpoena is legally invalid. President Trump's not letting up on Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
He's billions of dollars over budget, so he either is incompetent or he's crooked. I don't know what he is, but he doesn't do a very good job.
President Trump saying Powell needs to cut interest rates. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Schulze breaking down the latest inflation report showing prices went up 2.7% in December compared to last year, in line with expectations.
When you kind of look into the details of this report, you do still see why there's a lot of consternation from households when it comes to where prices are going up. Utilities are a main factor. We do still see grocery prices rising. Rent is going up, but not quite as much as it has. That is really good news for households who've seen stubbornly high rent prices.
And despite sluggish hiring nationwide last year, there are still pockets of healthy employment, says ABC ABC's Jim Ryan.
The exodus to the big city appears to have subsided. Financial services site WalletHub has compiled a list of the best and worst places to find work based upon job availability and quality of life. Pittsburgh, population 308,000, tops the list with the most jobs per capita of any metro area in the country.
Nashville ranks 102, Knoxville 112. Memphis is dead last at 182. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You know about the frogs. I don't have to tell you about the frogs. BetterWater.com. Right? They know. Don't they know? I think they know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they know. They know.
They know.
BetterWater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch the show. Super Talk TV, up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Mason has been doing just like the production on the video side has really stepped up by young Mason over here.
I'm trying.
I mean, I do. I mean, we're still got a long way to go.
Oh, absolutely.
But we're getting better.
There's room for growth everywhere.
Amen. There always is. If you feel like you can't get better, then just what are you doing?
Yeah.
No matter what profession you're in. Like if you're out there and you're a convenience store clerk, like you should feel like you get better at it. You gotta
increase your sales.
Yeah, increase things and to do better. Upsell.
Better hot dogs on those grillers.
100%. You ever gotten one that's just like way too old?
Oh yeah.
And then you finish it and you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I don't remember what show it's from, but it's a couple they just have a newborn kid. And the dad runs out to get diapers, and he has to stop for gas. So he goes inside to pay with cash, and he looks over at the hot dog roller, and they're like blackened and gross. He's like, I haven't eaten in so long. Give me 2 of those hot dogs. And the cashier goes, you mean the witch fingers? And he goes, the what?
Oh.
He goes, the witch fingers. And he goes, do you think that'll lay me out for a bit? And he goes, yeah, probably. And he goes, cool, give me 3 of them. Just for a chance to like pass out and sleep from the baby.
That's so funny. That is so funny. Every time that we've had babies, I'm like a hospital food connoisseur.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. The hospital food in Murfreesboro is actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You know the good pickings?
It's pretty solid, not going to lie to you. I was impressed.
You walk in, sir, who are you here to visit? Oh, I'm just here for the food.
I'm honestly thought about it before. I have. So we're talking about Minneapolis. It's been a big topic of conversation. It is still the biggest story in the country. What's happening? I do believe the Democrats are using this as a golden opportunity to distract from one of the main reasons why we've had a surge in Minneapolis and in Minnesota, don't you know? And that's because of the fraud. The fraud is massive. Everybody knows it, except the Minnesota officials, apparently. They have no idea. Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, he has confirmed that there's an active U.S. Treasury investigation going on in Minnesota, but also an active U.S. Treasury investigation into the financiers and the funders of the anti-ICE protests that we've seen popping up all over the country. As we were talking to Bo and Gabe earlier, a lot of activity in Minnesota, activity repeating today. But some of the most egregious examples of it were in like New York City, where you had all these protesters show up and they all had these crisp, clean signs that were completely uniform. It's like somebody's paying for that. Who's paying for that? Scott Bessent saying, we're going to find out. Oh, hang on one second. I got too much audio running in the background. Boom. Let me close that. This is Scott Bessent on the active investigation into the financiers and funders of ICE protests.
Now, as we speak, there are protesters, demonstrators, rioters. Overnight, they tried to set up an autonomous zone in the streets of Minneapolis. And one thing I'd like to talk about with you that is related to this whole architecture of intimidation is that there are 501c3 nonprofit groups that are funded by left-wing dark money that are organizing, or at least at arm's length, encouraging criminal activities, criminal protests, criminal obstruction of federal officers, including ICE agents. Is the Treasury looking into this? Is this something that you have authority to crack down on, and what can we expect?
Yes, and yes.
I mean, that's as quickly as we can get to it. I got a text here from 7445. He said, food for thought. The fraud in Minnesota is funding the extra protesters in Minnesota. Follow the money. Interesting. Could be. But what Scott Bessent is saying here is, well, we're going to find out and we're going to get to the bottom of it. Scott continues.
So these groups are engaging in this. We have the authority and we are examining them because when you see these protesters, someone is financing them. There are safe houses. That when you see the 300 people with the same laser that they're using to blind DHS agents in courthouses in Portland, someone bought those lasers. And again, what we do is follow the money. Just like we followed it with the mafia, just like we follow it with the drug cartels. And we will find out who's done this. I announced today that we are going to put in effect a whistleblower program. And my sense is that the rats will turn on each other.
Now, we do need a whistleblower program, and we do need that to be run by the federal government, because what we learned in Minnesota is when the whistleblowers came forward to the Walz administration, Governor Tim Walz, they were told if they went down that road, they would be labeled racist. They would be labeled bigots. You had individuals exposing fraud that were just, oh, gee whiz, got reassigned somewhere else. Intimidation was a huge factor in not uncovering the massive amounts of fraud. The whistleblower network is needed. Scott Bessent continues.
But, as I believe you reported or someone talked about in the roundtable today, one of the Somali fraudsters tried to bribe a juror with $120,000. Well, it turned out she'd been given $200,000 to bribe the juror, and she skimmed $80,000.
Come on. They probably would have took the bribe if you stuck it at $200K, but they can't even bribe without skimming off the top. It's insane. We need more whistleblowers. We need to get to the bottom of the fraud. I played this clip yesterday. It's from the same interview, but it's important to highlight. Scott Bessent said the amount of fraud happening in the U.S. government currently is $600 billion. $600 billion. More than $500 billion a year. More than $500 billion a year. Scott Bessent.
You recently mentioned you think there are between $300 and $600 billion in fraud every year of federal funds?
That's not my number. That's the General Accounting Office. So it's about 10% of the federal budget, 1 to 2% of GDP. And if we can narrow that number, President Trump asked for a $500 billion increase in the defense budget to fortify 10, 20 years of neglect and the forever wars that we've been involved in that he's determined not to get us into. That if we need to flex up our military budget, if we can get rid of this waste, fraud, and abuse, we can finance a safer, sounder U.S. with that, without taking on more debt. It sounds pretty good outcome to me.
It sounds like the best outcome. I can't believe that the federal government is losing $600 billion to fraud a year. Now, when I say I can't believe it, I mean, I absolutely can't believe it, but the number is still mind-blowing. And to hear the Treasury Secretary say it out loud really just does confirm your worst fears. But he says we're gonna look into it. And in Tim Walz's Minnesota, the IRS is stepping in as well. Scott Bessent details that in this interview with The Blaze.
Does not want to do investigations. So we just want the facts. We want to see where they lead, and we want to put the bad guys in jail. And this is all about incentives. And one of the other problems, what I would say is the third problem here, are the incentives. You could steal hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and under the Minnesota laws, you might not even get jail time. You might get a series of paroles. So what's the incentive? Well, you just have a bad file down at the courthouse, but you got $10 million in the bank. There are plenty of people who would take that incentive.
Would you take that deal, Mason? I would. I might take that deal.
How about you?
I'll
make that deal.
There it is.
How about you bitch? You make that deal? I'd make that deal. I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
Now run that through an AI generator with a Somali accent. Stat. We need that clip redone with a Somali accent. What does a Somali accent sound like? I don't know. But if you're only getting a blemish on your record and you get to keep the $10 million, what incentive is there to stop the fraud? There's no incentive to stop the fraud. And the local government there doesn't even want to look into the fraud because of how it makes them look. Scott Bessent is not exactly pleased with the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. In fact, he said the only reason he's stepping down is because of the fraud that's being exposed.
This interview was originally scheduled for the Minnesota State Capitol. Can you explain why that didn't come to pass and why we're here?
For one reason, Chris, Tim Walz is a coward. He is a coward. He would not guarantee that the Treasury Secretary of the United States of America would have police protection in the Minnesota State Capitol. He is afraid of what is coming. And he's not going to be able to hide behind this curtain because we will get there. And I don't have to go in the Capitol building to investigate him. I would love for him to come to Treasury and answer some questions. I can guarantee you that he will be safe and sound then, depending on what we discover. I don't know about his future. And as I said earlier, that will be the only view of the Oval Office he ever gets. Because let's just think about the long arc of history. The suppression of this story is this guy got to could have been one heartbeat away from being president of the United States. And when we don't have a functioning mainstream media and great independent journalists like you, citizen journalists who go out and do the investigative work because the people who are supposed to be doing it don't do it anymore.
It's crazy, but he's right. And Nick Shirley, the citizen journalist that he's referring to, said in another interview that he believes that Tim Walz was picked for VP because of the fraud. He said that when Tim Walz was picked, you know how much they fundraised in the first day after Tim Walz was picked? $35 million. How much of that came from fraudsters? I wonder. I do. I don't know. I don't have the receipts, but when you look at the fraud that's going on in the state of Minnesota, it's hard to come to any other conclusion. David Hoke, who is Nick Shirley's right-hand man, was in all of these videos with Nick Shirley that exposed the Somali daycares, was saying the other day that the fraud in Minnesota is 10 times worse than the original video. He said that they were going to have a video dropping yesterday. I have not seen the video yet, but they said there's a new video on the way, specifically researching the Somali fraud because it is so gargantuan for the past 7 years. And he has a 5-year recap of all the CCAP money, that's child care assistance payments, for the last 5 years. The top 102 recipients of that money, 84 of them are Somali owned. And he says that he's visited every single one of those child care centers over the last 7 years. And do you know how many children he's seen at those child care centers? 0. And then he's got another pile of money called Great Start, and that money is given to the facility to train their staff. He went on to say, if you don't have any kids, you don't have any staff, where's that training money going? And then he also went into the non-emergency medical transportation, which was a small part of the first video, but they're saying there's about 900 Somali-owned companies in Minnesota that do that non-emergency medical transport, bringing people to dentist appointments and to checkups and the like. He says that it's rife with fraud and that we are only witnessing the tip of the iceberg. So he said in the next video that's coming out, Nick Shirley and David, they visit about 16 of those non-emergency medical transport companies. And he says he's been to 70 of them total himself. And he said they don't exist. They don't exist. It's got to get to the bottom of this. This is one of the reasons why Donald Trump is surging the investigators and the DHS into the area. We have to get to the bottom of it. This is one of the reasons why I think all the protests are popping up. It's not just over Renee Nicole Good. It's to distract from what we're seeing. Because if we had real journalists in this country, if the mainstream media actually wanted to follow a big lead, they'd be all over this. But they're not. They're refusing to. So we're going to have to once again lean on citizen journalists like Nick Shirley, like David Hoke, to expose this stuff. And we're going to have to hope and pray that these Treasury investigations, the IRS investigations, bear a lot of fruit and bear a lot of convictions. Lord willing, they will. I believe that they will. But it's going to take some time, so be patient. We'll keep you updated on this as new information becomes available, because why not? On the way, I got some updates on Maha. Maybe you've heard about RFK and the new food pyramid. They turned it upside down. They went full South Park. Bobby Kennedy, it went scorched earth over the weekend, saying taxpayers are no longer going to be funding sugar and soda on SNAP. And he has a new directive for grocery stores in America. We'll bring you that on the way. Plus, we got the lightning round coming back at about 11:35. I got a ton of good stories on the lightning round. Hang out with us. A lot to get to. A little bit of time. 11:21. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at United Structural Systems. You know them as USS. They are the best when it comes to waterproofing in your home. They are going to keep your trust, earn your trust, and you are not going to be disappointed. What comes to mind when you think of the home? Maybe it's meals around the kitchen table, movie nights on the couch, or the feeling of walking through the door and knowing you're safe. Home is where life happens. And at the center of all that is your home's foundation. At USS, they understand how important the foundation is to your life and how much you trust it takes to protect it. Now, January's a wet month, okay? And we've already seen this. We've had some rain, and we might get some snow. The snow melts, by the way, and it turns into, you guessed it, water. You guys are keeping up. You're real quick. That water could get into your crawl space and into your basement. It could lead to a lot of damage. It could be a nightmare. It can come from poor drainage, small cracks in your foundation or walls, or even a hidden plumbing leak. USS has a team of experts that will find out why your basement or crawl space is wet and then create a customized plan to fix it the right way the first time, and they'll leave behind a lifetime warranty. guarantee. If you got water in your crawl space or basement, call USS today. 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, USSTN.com.
Cancer survival rates. They're getting better. Details coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
And maybe cancer rates get better. RFK Jr. has flipped the food pyramid upside down. All that processed food, you can absolutely make the case, has led to the rise in cancer. Ken Weaver on the way with your headlines. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name's Chris Hand, 11:25. RFK over the weekend declaring a war on added sugar. I'm here for it. I love Bobby Kennedy. I do. I'm not going to agree with the guy on everything. Obviously, there's very few people that I do. But this focus on the American diet, it's a long time coming. And the war on sugar, I'm here for it.
Vegetables and whole grains. And today, Mary, we're spending $5 trillion annually on health. We spend 3 times per capita what European countries do. And we have the worst health outcomes, and it's mainly driven by food. About 40 cents in every taxpayer dollar now goes to food-induced chronic diseases. So the only way that we're going to lower healthcare costs in this country is by helping Americans to change their diet and eat healthy food, and this is the first major step.
I love it. I'm here for it. Also, did anybody else catch this? Is during an interview with Maria Bartiromo. He called her Mary. Am I the only one that found that funny? Like, he doesn't know who Maria Bartiromo is. I thought it was hilarious. Maybe I'm the only one, but I chuckled. Thanks, Mary.
I didn't catch that.
You didn't catch that? He said it like right in the beginning. Here, listen. Here, he called her Mary.
Vegetables and whole grains. And today, Mary, we're spending $5.
I just love it. I love that I picture RFK Jr. as a guy that doesn't have cable on. You know what I mean? He has no idea who you are.
Absolutely.
I'd picture RFK Jr. as a guy that's still rocking the VHS tapes.
Well, and if he does watch TV, it's rabbit ears, and he's got foil on the antenna to get better reception.
Foil, not just for hats anymore. He also said that taxpayer dollars will no longer be funding sugar and soda on SNAP. I think we can all get behind this. I think everybody's for this. Why are we going to fund the foods and the drinks and the junk, and then on the back end have to fund the medical expenses for this as well?
Change the diet in those programs, in prisons, any place where the federal government, in school lunch programs. Any place where the government is involved in subsidizing food is now going to change, and that will change the markets. We have, 78% of SNAP recipients, of food stamp recipients, end up on Medicaid. So we are paying for 10% of SNAP prior to when we got in here was going to soda drinks, which are poisoning people and giving them diabetes. 38% of American teens are now diabetic or pre-diabetic.
That's an insane number, right? Does everybody acknowledge that that's an insane number? I was watching a clip, and Oprah was doing her due diligence on food. And she's like, wow, this is stunning. And the expert she had on said, obesity it's hereditary. It's in your genes. It's a disease. It's not your fault. And she's like, Oprah's like, oh my gosh, this is such great news. For years, I would diarrhea. I would say, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. But it's my genes. It's hereditary. And I think to myself, I look back on my ancestors and how come this hereditary disease didn't affect any of them? That's weird. And now 38% of teens are diabetic or pre-diabetic. It must be hereditary. It has nothing to do with the food, right?
It was essentially 0 when I was a kid. Now it's 1 out of every 3 kids who walks into a pediatrician office. And we can change that with diet. Most people, most type 2 diabetes can lose their diagnoses simply by changing diet. It's much more effective than pharmaceutical drugs or pharmaceutical interventions or medical interventions.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. Listen, I was joking with a guy one time, and he said something to me that really stuck with me. He's like, if you think organic foods are expensive, whole foods, vegetables, you think that's expensive, have you priced out cancer lately? And what we're doing with these food programs, we're funding all the junk, and then we're funding all the medical expenditures on the back end as well. Yeah, that's going to change, and it's about time that it does. 11:30, this is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
$11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Cancer survival rate getting better, up to 70% from 2015 to 2021. That's compared to just half back in the 1970s. But Dr. William Dayhut, the chief scientific officer at the American Cancer Society, does say some cancers are tougher to treat than others, like lung cancer.
It's still the #1 cause of cancer mortality. It's more than twice as much as #2 and #3, which are colorectal cancer and pancreas. We've actually made some really important improvements in therapy. It's one of those diseases where we really have targeted therapies for populations of lung cancer patients. Some of those people with lung cancer are now living 3, 5, 7 years, taking oral treatments, which change over time. They're thriving.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says he's going to seek contempt of Congress against former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton for their refusal to appear for a closed-door deposition on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
No one's accusing Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing. We just have questions, and that's why the Democrats voted along with Republicans to subpoena Bill Clinton.
Former President, former Secretary of State responded in a 3.5-page open letter saying Chairman James Comer's subpoena is legally invalid. They point to then former President Donald Trump's refusal to be deposed by the House January 6th committee in 2022. The latest inflation report shows prices rose 2.7% in December compared to the year before. Elizabeth Schulze says it's in line with expectations, but shows prices are still high at the grocery store.
If you look at coffee prices, they're still up about 20% over the past year. Some fresh produce, so think of lettuce or bananas, those prices still rising 6-7% over the past year. Beef prices also still going up at a really fast pace, almost 16% in the past year. But then we do see egg prices going down.
And that's good. I eat eggs every day. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:36, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. I got a text. They said, did somebody at corporate say you're not allowed to play the Alex Jones clip anymore? Did you know that? I got that text. Did you see that text?
People be sexting.
They do. People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. No, we're allowed to. We're allowed to do the Alex Jones things for the Better Water. Anytime we want. We could do it. We could do it right now if we wanted to. Like right now.
Allegedly.
If we wanted to.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Betterwater.com. It's a reason. It's one of those things that it gets less funny, and then we do it. Then we give it a break, and then it becomes funny again. We've been giving it a rest.
But like it's kind of fun because I know you guys are saying it in your cars.
So want to know some inside baseball? So Murphy's now on Team Better Water as well. Matt Murphy. Maybe you've heard of Matt Murphy. Maybe you've heard of him.
The guy that yells occasionally in the afternoons.
He yells occasionally. Listen, I love Murph. Murphy delivers, at least in my mind, great monologues. Some of the best monologues I've ever heard have been Matt Murphy.
Oh yeah.
But he's on Team Better Water now. So we were emailing with all the guys about Better Water because that's what we do in our free time. We're like, dude, love Better Water. And I just started spamming the email thread with frog emojis. Just way too many frog emojis.
Frog emojis and rainbow emojis?
That's what I'm doing.
Gotta let them know.
Don't worry. It's official business. Speaking of official business, you know what time it is right now? It's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
Every day at this time, we do the lightning round, where we cover all the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to, stories that might not fill a whole segment, but we want to cover anyway. We call it the lightning round. Gabe was in here, Bo and Gabe, a Bo and Gabe fan. And Gabe said to me, dude, what's going on? Didn't hear the lightning round yesterday. I said, well, if we have a guest in, we postpone the lightning round.
Yeah, which is normally on Tuesdays.
But he said he was very disappointed, young Gabe. And he said, we need more lightning. I said, well, listen, at 11:35, we will oblige you, and we're going to do so right now. This is the lightning round. I got a text. Here it is, 1579. Republicans are going to lose midterm elections, guaranteed. Costs are up because Republicans fail. Maybe we lose. Maybe we lose the midterms. I do know that the Trump administration is doing a lot of work to make sure that we don't lose the midterms. And I don't know if you saw this, but it's the first story in the lightning round. We got the lowest average gas prices on record since 2021. If you don't believe me, let's listen to the lovely ladies from a local ABC affiliate.
If you've noticed cheaper gas at the pump lately, you're not imagining it. It's been nice to see. Prices are now at their lowest since March of 2021, giving drivers some welcome relief.
Is that good? What ripples through the economy faster than anything else? Is it gas? We channel my inner Brian Wilson. It's going to ripple through the economy. I will say this. I don't mean any disrespect to Brian. My Brian Wilson sounds a little bit like my Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, a little bit of Nixon in there.
I'm sorry, Brian, if you're listening, but I'm giving you credit. It ripples through the economy faster than anything else. Is that good? I think it's good.
Alyssa Munoz is live for us this morning with a closer look at what's driving this and what you can expect in the months ahead.
We stole all that oil from Venezuela. We reappropriated it. That's probably the better term. We forced them into selling it to us at price.
Good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning. Well, the national average for a gallon of gas has dropped to $2.73, according to Gas Buddy.
Has anybody else noticed how the fluctuation has been insane? Like, I'll drive by one gas station, it's at like $2.15, and then I'll go by another gas station, it's at like $2.40.
Yeah, it's like 30 to 50 cents like difference at most gas stations. It's really weird.
I am not a gas station owner operator, so I don't know what has to do with that. Is it like your price hasn't dropped because that's what you paid to fill up the tanks under the ground?
I know ones that stay higher typically are on high traffic like stops in remote areas. So it's like, oh yeah, you're the only gas station around. Of course people are going to stop and get gas there because you're the only place for miles. You can keep your prices up. Or like in cities, people who rent cars, they keep the prices up because it's like, well, that's the only gas station available. I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It is. I don't like it. Hey, speaking of Venezuela, got another story for you here in the lightning round. We talked about this yesterday, the direct energy weapons and the Havana syndrome stuff, right? And how those were used in the operation to capture Nicolas Maduro. Well, we got a new whistleblower, former top CIA official, who is coming out and saying that the Biden administration covered up Havana syndrome, and he wants Trump to expose it. Now, an interesting wrinkle in this is This is one of the CIA officials who said the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinfo. He's no fan of Trump, but he is alleging a cover-up by the Biden administration. New York Post has the story. A former top CIA officer has revealed he suffered from the mysterious neurological illness known as Havana syndrome and wants the Trump administration to expose what he calls the Biden administration's cover-up of a debilitating attack on U.S. personnel. Mark Polymeropoulos, a 26-year-old CIA veteran and ex-senior operations chief who signed the infamous Spies Who Lie letter about the Hunter Biden laptop during the 2020 election campaign, told the Post that the 46th president's administration perpetrated one of the worst intelligence scandals of modern times. Gee whiz, maybe it wouldn't have happened if he didn't lie about the damn laptop. I digress. Polymeropoulos says okay, I don't mean to do this, but doesn't Polymeropoulos sound like some weird made-up leftist relationship? Oh, I'm Polymeropoulos, actually.
Add it to the list.
I'm Polymeropoulos, non-binary, gender fluid. I happen to be Polymeropoulos, so maybe I'll do that when that they wouldn't even know. Like, if you need to apply for a job and you want to check the diversity box, just let them know you're Polymeropoulos. They'll be like, wow, stunning and brave. So Polymeropoulos said this cover-up was horrific. Over the weekend, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt made headlines highlighting the Venezuelan Guard protecting Maduro as U.S. forces swooped in on Caracas using a direct energy weapon, an unknown force that caused them to be incapacitated, bleed through their nose, and vomit blood. The Biden administration publicly denied the existence of Havana syndrome, believed by non-government scientists to have been caused by powerful directed energy weapons wielded by foreign adversaries such as Russia and Cuba, despite their own intelligence personnel suffering unbearable pain. After Trump took office last year, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard asked for her directors' initiatives groups to investigate the anomalous health incidents, government jargon for Havana syndrome, saying the mistreatment and dismissal of Americans impacted by this is unacceptable. DNI Gabbard remains committed to sharing findings from her investigation into anomalous health incidents with the American people. Polymeropoulos said that this was the end of his career. I mean, you would have to have some debilitating effects, cognitive function declining to sign the Hunter Biden laptop. I think the infamous letter saying it was Russian disinfo. So I think, if anything, that's proof of it being real. I happen to be Polymeropoulos. It's so funny.
Oh, don't tell your wife.
I don't tell my wife, but I identify as Polymeropoulos. All right, got another story for you here in the lightning round. This one's insane. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This one's gonna infuriate the listening audience.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready for this? Well, you've heard of radical leftist judges, right? You've heard of that. You've heard of radical leftist prosecutors, of course, Soros DAs. You've heard of radical leftist police chiefs, right? But are you ready for radical leftist convicted felon jurors? Because that's what could be happening in a New Jersey courtroom near you.
Governor Phil Murphy signed an executive order allowing people with past criminal convictions to serve on juries. The state estimates this impacts more than 350,000 people.
Those individuals excluded from our jury boxes are disproportionately Black and Latino. And a justice system that does not look like the people it serves is not built to serve, frankly, any of us.
Wait, hold on a second. Is he saying that it's really just the Black and Latino community that are getting criminal convictions in New Jersey? Is that what he's saying? Is he saying the Black and Latino community are the criminals? And because of these convictions, we have to let them on the juries because only Black and Latino members are ending up in court? That sounds a little racist. Sounds a little racist from the governor. But that's an executive order that he signed. Now we'll have convicted criminals deciding the fate of criminals. Huh. What could go wrong? Yep, you guessed it. Probably everything. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. We hear a lot about what happens in the ocean, and a lot of times we're blowing up narco-terrorist boats, and that's great. That's fun. Everybody loves it. But there's another story here that's been making the rounds. A dramatic rescue from the U.S. Coast Guard rescuing a stranded 68-year-old man in the dead of night in rough seas. If you're watching us on SuperTalk TV, on YouTube or Rumble, I got the video for you of this rescue. It's kind of weird to watch, I'll be honest with you, because it's all black and white. And it's hard to see what's going on. But the story is unbelievable. Missing surfer, CBS has a story. Missing surfer rescued in Puerto Rico on Friday following a huge search effort that involved multiple federal and local agencies, the U.S. Coast Guard said. The surfer had been missing in the ocean for more than 30 hours.
Oh, wow.
30 hours. Dude, I don't know. I feel like after about 6, I'd be like, that's it for me.
Yeah, consider me shark bait.
He was ultimately found in a dramatic ordeal that was captured on video. If you're watching us on SuperTalk TV, helicopter rescue, wild. 68-year-old man had gone surfing near Surfers Beach in the city of Aguadilla at around noon local time on Thursday afternoon, his daughter said. According to the Coast Guard, no one had heard from him after that. The daughter and the man's Airbnb host proceeded to report him missing Friday evening after he failed to return to the rental home for more than 24 hours. Video of the eventual rescue was shared online, showing the Coast Guard crew hovering above the stranded surfer and later hoisting him from a reef into the aircraft. After the successful rescue, Coast Guard released this, plus the emotional call between the surfer's family and Captain Robert Stiles, the deputy sector commander of the Coast Guard Sector San Juan, who relayed the good news. He said, I'm sure he's dehydrated. I'm sure he's had a rough night, but he's conversant. We're going to have paramedics standing by to check him out, but he's alive and well.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
30 hours in the ocean. And the Coast Guard rescued him. Shout out to the Coast Guard. Big props.
For real.
Big props. See, we don't just do angry stuff in the lightning round. We do all sorts of stuff in the lightning round. Want to get back to the angry stuff? Let's get back to the angry stuff.
I was going to say, we take care of him because he didn't have prepackaged fish wrapped in plastic.
It's true.
1 kilogram each.
1 kilogram each. It's unbelievable how that happens. All right, another story for you here in the lightning round. Maybe I broke this up too soon with the good news, but maybe this individual is going to find himself in a courtroom and the jury of his peers are going to be convicted criminals, because this story is from New Jersey, where a Mexican man, Hernando Morales, young Hernando, is causing a bit of trouble.
Uh-oh.
And listen, I understand that the illegal aliens are neighbors, newcomers, voters in some of these areas, and we wouldn't want to do anything that would disparage them. But this story is insane. So you got a Mexican illegal alien, Hernando Morales, and you know what he was doing in his free time? Throwing rocks at cars. Like he's, 8, 9? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been known to throw things at cars before, but
we were like kids.
Yeah.
Well, this individual was throwing rocks at cars. One rock hit a school bus, and I'll let the local news tell you what happened next. Heartbreaking story, actually.
After a rock the size of a baseball was thrown into a school bus in New Jersey, injuring an 8-year-old girl. That rock shattered a window on the bus as it traveled down the New Jersey Turnpike in Teaneck Wednesday afternoon, hitting the child's head, fracturing her skull.
Infuriating. This illegal alien shouldn't have been in the country in the first place. You have Democrat officials, elected officials in this country today saying that ICE doesn't make anyone safer and that they need to lay off the neighbors. But here we have a story of an illegal alien in New Jersey throwing a rock through a school bus window and fracturing an 8-year-old skull. Oh my gosh, I would lose my mind. I would be seeing red if this happened to one of my children. I'm seeing red now, and I don't even know the girl. This poor girl sitting there talking with friends. Then she wakes up in a hospital bed, probably doesn't know anything of what happened. And for what? For what? And New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is an absolute tool bag who has an illegal alien living above his garage, right? Remember that? Do you remember that? We did that story a while back. Insane. I mean, what would you want to happen to this guy? Do you want him the book thrown at him and him thrown into prison, or you just want him out of the country? I just want him out of the country.
Get him out.
Get him out. Get him out of here. Get him out. Get him out.
Get him out. Throw him out into the cold. Don't give him their coat. No coat.
Actually, you know what would be a better thing? We should do a swap program where we take illegal aliens like this, and if we find somebody missing in the ocean, like the Coast Guard did, we just swap them out. I feel like that would be an acceptable fate for an illegal alien who's throwing rocks at school buses, fracturing young girls' skulls, to the ocean with you. Walk the plank. It's just
Look at me.
Yeah, look at me. I'm the governor now. Get him out of here. It's insane. It's insane. Oh, ICE makes people less safe. Yeah, great. Let's leave illegal aliens to throw rocks at school buses. What could go wrong? That does it for the lightning round. It's 11:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. If you're a gun owner, listen up. Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. If you care about securing your collection, you don't want to trust a big box safe. If a teenager can tip it over, it's not a safe. That is a flimsy metal box. Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. They don't specialize in flimsy metal boxes. They specialize in real law enforcement level security. Aaron Parker knows security. Former Air Force security, former park ranger, runs a Christian family business now, and he's been serving Tennessee since 2009. You can get a breakdown of every safe that they have in stock on their YouTube page. He reviews them all. Just search for Parker Safes and Vaults on YouTube, and then decide what you want before you even hit the showroom. Their safes don't just protect rifles and pistols. They'll protect jewelry, wedding sets, cash, passports, photo albums, anything you want to protect from fire or theft. These guys are the best. Protect your firearms, protect your family's legacy. Call Parker Safes and Vaults today, 931-842-6445, 931-842-6445, or find them online, parkersafes.com.
We've just reached the 2-year mark of the Freddie O'Connell tenure as mayor of the city of Nashville, and one asks oneself, what has he done for this city? Now, look, I've had Freddie on this show, and do I need to tell you yet again that he seems like a nice enough guy? Do I need to? Oh, he seems like a nice enough guy. I'd like to sit down and have a beer with him. You know, my grandma seems like a nice enough lady, but she's dead. I don't want her to be the mayor of Nashville. Just because they're nice people doesn't mean that they're good leaders. Now, Freddie is set to be on this radio show in 3 weeks. November 7th, we have him slated, I think, in the 3 o'clock hour. I was talking to his guy, Alex Apple, about that just several days ago. And we will present all of this to him. Tell me what your accomplishments are as mayor of this city, besides raising taxes, because you've done that twice. Twice.
Remember last week with the Tylenol stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Britain, they came out and they said, don't listen to anything Trump says. You remember that?
Don't listen.
Don't listen to the orange man. Tylenol's totally safe. And then we were like, well, should we listen to Tylenol? Because they said don't take it while pregnant.
Yeah, they said that a while ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I've come to a new conclusion. We don't need to listen to anything the British government says, which leads me to this headline. First cousin marriage has benefits, says NHS guidance, despite birth defect risk. First cousin marriage is linked to stronger extended family support systems and economic advantages. So it's a strong family. Now, it's important to point out the real reason that they're doing this. is because they've been culturally invaded by Muslims. I know. Listen, it's uncomfortable. People don't want to talk about it, but we'll talk about it. Diversity is our strength. Yikes. $11:58, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. If you don't have a water filter, you may be finding yourself polymeropolis before you know it. So I would get that water filter. So we were doing a story. I love the directed energy weapon stuff coming out of Venezuela. But there's a guy who signed the Hunter Biden disinformation letter.
Yeah.
His name is, what's his name? Oh, gosh. I want his first name. Mark Polymeropoulos.
Oh, Polymeropoulos.
And he's coming out and saying that Biden covered up the Havana syndrome. And it's like, obviously. But then we were laughing because I said, if you ever need to check a diversity box on an application, just tell them that you're Polymeropoulos.
Polymeropoulos.
And they'll be like, oh, stunning.
Well, that seems like it's really important.
Stunning and brave.
I don't know what that means. Neither do I.
Yeah.
So I saw that we bought some of those weapons.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Like on Amazon or something. I know they don't exist and nothing really happened, but let's see if they work.
Dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, that is a trip.
This stuff has existed for a long time.
Of course.
It's like anything we're learning about now that's 40, 50-year-old tech.
It's the DARPA stuff. When you go talk about DARPA and they say, oh, they're one step ahead, they're like 8 steps ahead.
Yeah, they're super advanced.
They're trying to figure out how you can wander in a room completely, nobody sees you and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing the invisibility cloaks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a real thing.
That is a real thing.
Like, people think that you're insane when you bring it up, but no, they have that.
Yeah, but what they're trying to do is figure out if they can make magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. So cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris, if you guys haven't seen him, go watch him on Fox.
Oh, yeah.
So awesome.
I was on Nashville in Focus over the weekend. Chad came in here crying because of what I said.
When they asked you about school vouchers, you're like, hey, Democrats, you guys are probably going to agree with me. The other reason is because that money's going to Islamic schools and they're ruining our culture.
I might have said that on Nashville in Focus.
I was the best.
The Democrats are like, school voucher program is bad. School voucher program is bad. I was like, I agree with you guys. Different reasons,
Different reasons.
and then I said, our tax dollars are going to fund Islamic schools in the state, and it's going to change the culture, and it's going to change Tennessee. And I truly believe that. And I don't want my tax dollars going to that, but the looks on everybody else's faces.
The guy saw, thanks, Chris.
I don't know if I'll get invited back, but
it was a win,
time.
though, man. It made me laugh, and that was funny.
What are you talking about today?
You know, we're going to talk about, obviously, legislators kick off their session. We'll talk a little bit about some of that stuff going on there. A Democrat here actually has a really good idea about the data centers and how much they may cost and how we should be able to reap the reward of some of this, not just all go to the data centers and see everybody's prices go up.
I can't wait to see the text line. Chad agrees with another Democrat.
Probably.
Coming up at noon. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.